Yosemite's Firefall is an amazing natural wonder that depends heavily on clouds and snowfall, and that can happen towards the middle to end of February each year. I got a chance to see it in 2019, but I really wanted to experience it with my dad since he's been coming to the park for over 40 years and was responsible for introducing me to it. When I heard it was happening again in 2021, I grabbed passes to enter the park and hope for the best. While the experience is pretty crazy with the amount of people there with you, during the 10 minutes when Firefall happens, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Here's how we spent 24 hours in the park.
Picked up the old man, we're leaving Southern California and we're headed to Yosemite.
Our trip began with a long drive through the Grapevine headed north. Of course, when you're in the area, In-N-Out is always the number one stop.
Number 2, Animal Style. It's the way to go.
After leaving In-N-Out, it was about 3 hours to our hotel in Oakhurst where we were spending the night. Firefall.
Headed to Firefall, baby. Here we go.
So we drove up from Southern California last night. We stayed at our hotel in Oakhurst, and today we're heading into Yosemite National Park to hopefully catch Firefall. If you follow this blog, then you know I love donuts, and whenever I'm in Oakhurst, I always stop at Judy's. If you don't know what to get, I highly recommend the Blueberry Old Fashioned. That's my personal favorite. From there, it's only about a 25-minute drive to the park's entrance. You did have to have advanced reservations when we went, but I believe they're discontinuing this soon. Entered the park, and they gave us this thing for viewing the Firefall, so lots of restrictions this year. Note that from when you enter the park at the southern entrance, it's still a good 45 minutes to an hour to get to the valley. This is definitely my favorite way to enter the park though, as going through the tunnel and seeing tunnel view is one of the most amazing experiences you can have in the entire United States. We made it to Yosemite National Park. Tunnel view is always an incredibly popular part of the park, but due to the reservation system, there weren't that many people there when we went. This is how a professional takes photos. Tripod with a phone. Tunnel view is such an amazing viewpoint in Yosemite, and you get great views of El Capitan, Half Dome out in the distance, Bridal Veil Fall, and just the entire valley out in front of you. As you head down from tunnel view, I always love seeing El Capitan as you're driving into the valley along the main road. We got into the park pretty early, so we decided just to explore for a while before setting up for Firefall, and our first stop was at Swinging Bridge. Even if we don't get Firefall, it's an absolutely perfect day in Yosemite. That's the shot right there where Pops is. Epic reflections. This is definitely one of my favorite places to see Yosemite Falls, and I've been here tons of times, but I still can't get over how amazing the reflection is. Here's El Capitan right here, and then Horsetail Falls is this spot right here. So that's where the Firefall happens. You can tell that that's why it doesn't happen every year, is that there's not even a ton of water flow this year coming off of there, but there is enough to create the Firefall. Continuing on, we made it to another Yosemite Falls viewpoint across from the lodge and next to the chapel. I know it's going to get crazy busy later, but there's actually not a lot of people here right now. Pops found a good spot to take a break. It's actually a better break spot from this direction. The chapel was actually open, so we were able to peek our head in and see it. I've only been in here once or twice on my previous trips. They have some pretty epic shots. Look at this one of the church with a crazy zoom lens. We're basically just hanging out, exploring the park until we get set up for Firefall. This is one of my favorite views in the park with the chapel and then Yosemite Falls right there. And this is where we saw a bear during the summer. You can see that video up here. Floodwater level in 1997 reached that high. That's insane. When you cross this bridge heading towards the valley and the store, this is one of my favorite views in all of Yosemite. Right here with Half Dome and the Merced River. Pop's capturing those dope photos. Oh yeah.
Crazy reflections right now. That's amazing. Look at that.
After soaking in the views, we headed over to the Yosemite Village. Heading into the store to pick up some snacks for our Firefall waiting. Horsetail Falls signs are all over the park. Apparently other people had the same idea as us. All of the prepackaged sandwiches are gone. All right, we're going with plan B. We gotta go up to Deacon's to get lunch. It's about 11:30. We're driving to the El Capitan picnic area because that's where you can shoot Firefall from. You can drive there until noon. We're gonna go scope out a spot, then come back and do the walk back to the El Capitan picnic area. The only place you're really allowed to see Firefall this year was along the north side drive near the El Capitan picnic area, so we decided to drive down there, scope out a spot, and then do the 1.5 mile walk from the parking area. It's currently about 12 o'clock, still walking around trying to find the best spot to take photos. All right, I found a good spot, hopefully. Walking back to get my stuff, and then I'm setting up, and it'll be a long waiting game today. Basically what I was looking for was a good viewpoint without trees blocking the view of El Capitan. It's actually pretty hard to find that as there's definitely a lot of tree cover in this area and you're going to want to get there really early if you want a shot like this. So while my dad's waiting for Firefall, I got us checked in to the lodge. This is our room right here. Pretty nice spot. I got lucky that I was able to find a reservation for one night at the lodge. I highly recommend that you try to find a reservation in the park if you can, as it's crazy trying to get out of the park after Firefall. According to this pamphlet they gave me at check-in, we are here on February 22nd, which is better than very, very good. But yesterday was the absolute best day, apparently. I brought my Blix bike so that I could take it down to where we're watching Firefall from. This is the way to do Firefall. Got all my stuff loaded up on the bike. Much easier. For this event, they shut off one entire lane for biking and walking, so it makes it pretty easy to get back and forth from your viewing area without having to worry about cars. When I got back at around 1:30, there was already at least 100 people waiting near me. People over there in the trees, people right there, people over there, and people over here. Crazy amount of people. That's my Firefall spot right there. It's about 2:30 right now. We can see how many people are here. There was only 3 of us when we got here at about noon, but 3 hours to go, all these people are already here. You get to know the people that you're sitting next to pretty well, and there's a lot of camaraderie as you're experiencing this natural wonder together. Putting out the good vibes with Firefall red beer. We got an hour left before Firefall. All the professionals have set up their photos. Ready to see some magic. If you're wondering about my photography setup, I had a Sony a7R III with a 70-200 lens, and I had a Sony a7S III with a 24-105 lens. My dad was the true professional, shooting with an iPhone 8. 15 minutes to go. Pops is about to experience his first Firefall.
This is incredible, just the way the light focuses on that area. It's like a spotlight's been shown on it or something. It's just fascinating.
As the last few minutes start to count down, the anticipation builds as the light moves across the wall and everybody's praying for no clouds. It's just about happening. When the experience finally starts, cheers are heard throughout the entire valley as everybody just stares up at the waterfall as it changes colors.
The Firefall is unbelievable. It just keeps changing, and it literally looks like lava flowing off the top of the mountain.
These are just a few of the highlights, but you can watch the entire Firefall unedited experience in another video on my channel I'll link to in the description. Alright Pops, what'd you think of your first Firefall experience?
It was incredible. My gosh, the way that the light focuses on that, and I think it's something you wouldn't see anywhere else in the world. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
One of the coolest Yosemite experiences you've ever had?
One of the coolest Yosemite experiences I have ever had. My gosh.
Alright, who gets to take the bike back?
I don't think there's any question. I'll catch you later.
Before everyone says I'm mean, I let my dad ride the bike. I will say it was absolutely crazy how the crowds were when you were leaving. It felt like you were leaving a rock concert as you made the 1.5 mile walk back to your car. Also, we didn't have to drive out, but I have to imagine it takes a few hours to get out of the park. Made it back to the hotel after checking out Firefall. Highly recommend you book a hotel here as the traffic is absolutely horrible getting out of there now. That was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in Yosemite. It was definitely better than the Firefall I saw a couple years ago, which you can see here. Now we're gonna find something to eat. Everybody talking about how Pops doesn't eat healthy. Look, you got the chili cheese talking and some fruit.
There's beans in here, and this is fruit.
Pretty exhausted, but since we're already at the lodge, we figured we might as well go to Lower Yosemite Falls and take a few pictures before calling it a night. I don't know if you can see that, but you can hear the waterfall out there. Here are a few of the photos that I took at night of Yosemite Falls. Good morning, it is 5:50 and I've always wanted to see sunrise from Tunnel View, so we're up early to go catch it. So I severely underestimated the amount of photographers that were going to be here today. I should have probably realized that Firefall is what draws the most photographers to Yosemite during this time of the year, so of course everybody would be up for sunrise at one of the most popular spots. It was still worth it though, as there was some awesome pink light above Half Dome. The thing that's crazy about shooting in Yosemite is all the planes that come through. It's currently 5 plane lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the best for photography. Too many clouds, so the light didn't end up coming through, but still a pretty cool sunrise spot. We're gonna go shoot a few more spots in the valley. Every time I see El Capitan, I can't help but think of Free Solo. Let me know if you saw that movie in the comments. Made it down to the Cathedral Beach parking area. I've always wanted to get a reflection shot of the three brothers right there, so hopefully we can find a good way down there in the snow and find that shot. There's no way to drive in here, but this is the normal parking area for the spot during the summer. Wandered all around here trying to find the view, and I found kind of what I wanted, but unfortunately the water level's not too high for the reflection, but still Yosemite. All right, heading back to the car. It's about 8:30 now, so we're gonna get some breakfast. Not sure what we're gonna do, if we're gonna stay in the park or if we're gonna take off, but we're definitely not gonna sit for another 5 hours to wait for Firefall again. Got a breakfast burrito and a coffee. Don't worry, Pops is being healthy. He got a veggie
This is
breakfast
vegetables right here.
burrito to go with the chili dog from last night. My dad decided to go back to the room, but I wanted to go to Yosemite Falls one more time before we leave. This view walking up to Yosemite Falls is definitely one of my favorite views in the park. Look at how you can see the waterfall, lower and upper, so good. So cool. I don't want to pull myself away with that rainbow and the awesome soft light, but my dad wants to go to the Ahwahnee, so we're heading over there. The Ahwahnee was one of the stops on my parents' honeymoon, so it always holds a special place in my dad's heart. It's a pretty incredible place to see though if you've never been, and it's a great place to just sit and relax while you're in the valley. This is the Ahwahnee Hotel. It's the historic hotel in the park, and it's absolutely incredible. Check it out, there's a small seasonal waterfall right on the other side of the Ahwahnee. Never seen that before. One of the best things about the Ahwahnee is the large main room they have on the bottom floor. During the cold winter nights, they also usually have fires roaring in the fireplace. We're hoping to spend more time at the Ahwahnee, but they don't serve coffee right now because of COVID, so we're heading on. Since I was only able to get reservations for one night and we didn't want to fight the Firefall traffic on the way out of the park, we decided to get going at around 1 p.m. for the drive back to Southern California. We had grabbed coffee at Deegan's on the way out, and we decided to sit and drink it and just hang out at Valley View, one of the best spots in the valley. It's our second to last stop of this trip. One more stop at Tunnel View, and we're heading home. Just like that, our time in Yosemite is done. One of the coolest ones we've ever done with Firefall.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the next one.